Hello, Year 6. So, welcome to Wednesday's English lesson. Start with a starter. What I'd like you to do, please, I'd like you to write out this sentence. Despite the bad weather, the man headed out into the woods, leaving his cottage behind. And all I'd like you to do is, much like it is there, I'd just like you to label whether those three different sections, which ones of them are phrases, which one of them is a clause, and then when you've done that, take a picture. Well, you can wait till you've done the whole piece of work, but then make sure I'm seeing your starter as well so I can let you know how you got on. Pause the video here whilst you do that, and then start it up again when that is done. Speak to you in a second. Okay, so our waltz today is to identify features of a persuasive letter. You all had a go at writing one for your cold write yesterday, and today we're looking at exactly what things should have been in there by looking at a waggle, what a good one looks like. What I'll be looking for is that you're identifying structural features, so layout features, things like that you're also identifying language features, and that you're understanding the purpose of those in your persuasive letters. So let's have a look at one then. So what I've got here is exactly what I've sent out to you. You've got the full PDF version. This is just the first two paragraphs of the waggle. So looking at those first two paragraphs, what I'd like you to do first is I'd like you to go through and I'd like you to try and find all examples of formal language. I'd like you to try and find any structural features of a letter. And then if you can, this is the trickiest one because we've not actually done the subjunctive form lesson, but if you can, I'd like you to find the subjunctive form example in there. There is only one. Okay, pause the video whilst you're doing that, and then you can play the video and I will show you where those things are. Speak to you in a second. Okay, so formal language then. That is where you're using the full non-contracted versions of words, as well as sometimes just using particularly formal expressions. But in this case, we're particularly looking for, I've gone the other way around, structural features first. That's the only one in there really. So dear Zodiac Council, key thing for when we're looking for structural features, start with dear, end with yours sincerely. Now we can look at the formal language. So myself and Elliot, rather than Elliot and me, making sure we're getting that the right way around. I have rather than I've. I am rather than I'm. Did not rather than didn't. Have not rather than haven't. And then there was also I am at the very, very beginning, which I've missed instead of I'm. For the subjunctive form, if I were you is what you would be looking for there. That's the only example in there of subjunctive form. If you still don't know what subjunctive form is, don't worry. Your lesson on Friday is going to be all about subjunctive form, so you'll learn about it then. Okay, so this time I'm going to highlight some features for you, and I want you to try and work out what features I'm highlighting. So, firstly, what features am I highlighting here? Okay, so 3 different colours of highlighting there. I'd like you to pause the video, tell me what have I highlighted in yellow, what have I highlighted in blue, and then finally what did I highlight in orange, those lots of individual words that I highlighted in orange. So what are those different things that I have highlighted? Speak to you again in a second. Okay, so what you should have got is that the yellow is where you have shown that you're sort of flattering the person you're writing to, that you're trying to get on their side. You're being persuasive by showing that you understand their point of view. The blue, they're modal verbs, should, would, could, may, will, etc. And the orange is all examples where the writer is using first person. So your main task then today is to read over the rest of the WAGOL, not just those first 2 paragraphs, the whole thing. And I'd like you to go through highlighting any features that you think you find. You're going to be able to find examples of the things that we've already discussed, but you'll also be able to find other things as well. When you've done that, the extension is to choose some of those features and explain why they're suited to a persuasive piece of writing. When all that's done, you can then take your picture of your work to send in to me, and I'll give you some feedback. But for now, that's everything from me. I'll be back with you tomorrow for Thursday's English and Thursday's Big Reading. But for today, goodbye.